Today we're going to build a covered patio. At least it started on it. Now, first thing we're doing here, we're going to go and take off this top piece of siding so we can access the 2x4s that are behind here and put in a structural 2x8 running all the way across. This is going to give us something for our joist hangers to hang on to so we can get everything set up. And since this is off, I'm going to go and get the 2x8 put up there, or two 2x8s, because we're doing a 20-foot span. And then we'll get all that set up and get started on doing the post mounts. So the way I'm doing this here, I'm just getting a little razor knife, cutting like right along the caulking. That way it doesn't rip off any of the paint or anything else going up. Just get a crowbar, back out of a hammer, go underneath. Nice and clean. So you're doing that all the way down till the end of our run, and we're ready to put up that 2x8. Alright, we now have our header board up. These two 10-foot long 2x8s using 4-inch lag screws that went through that, and then also the dual 2x4 headers they have behind there. Kind of see that a little bit behind where the siding is. Up a little bit too much on that side, but it's no big deal. We can get that all patched up. So now that we have that set up, we can get going. Start getting the post bases in. Once those are up, we can do our cross member and start getting it tied in to our header board. So we just got the post based in. Took a lot longer than we thought. Went through a couple drill bits, had to go get a new hammer drill. We were just going through batteries and bits left and right. Now we're going to have 3 out of 4 on 2 of the bases. One of them we have 4 in. This one here got oblong because the bit wandered too far. We couldn't get it in right. But most of the bases I've seen besides these are set up for just 1 right in the center. These set up for 4, so it should be nice and stable anyway, even with 3. And now we gotta go and get our 4x4s in using number 2 ground contact pine. Yeah, they're severe weather, pressure treated, but it's made so you can put direct on there even without a base, right to the ground. It's going to be good. Now for these, pretty simple. You just go and drop them in, then you go and tighten up the bolts on either side, and then you put in lag bolts in the 2 small screws, and it ends up real nice and easy. Go to finish one we just did. So you just tighten those down, lag bolt goes in. Now this thing's rock solid here. So I'm gonna go finish up that last one, and we're gonna start working on the caps for the top. All right, now we're working on our cross beams. We're gonna go and do a notch cut out here, so you have them marked off in quadrants. We're gonna make 4x4s going to link up to each other, and so we're going to cut out half, get 3.5 inches off. Makes it real clean. We don't have to worry about any kind of overlap or using 2 2x2s or anything like that. All right, we have the post up, and now we're going to have the top joist on. So a 4x4 joist hung up here by these Simpson strong tie. They're BCZR, made for a 4x4 post to attach to a 4x4 beam. Got 3 of these on. Yeah, notch both ends of it just like we showed before. I'll show you how that ended up. See the seam. We did it vertically, so you still have the full strength of it up and down. And then those are joined by the 3-inch galvanized 16D nails. So between this and the header, now we're about ready to start getting the these 2x6 brackets hung up and getting those put to our 2x6 saddles that are going to be up here, sitting on top of that 4x4, and tying the 4x4 into our header. Alright, as you see, we got the first cross member, first rafter up. Use these HS24 mounts from Simpson Strong Tie for the beam to the 2x6. 1.5 nails into the actual beam, and then 3-inch nails into the 4x4 cross beam. Over here on this guy, here's a MyTech JUS26TZ. Use that to go to your our header board. 1.5 nails on the for the 2x6, and 3-inch nails going into the header. So 1 down, 9 to go. One thing I forgot to mention, because of the angle, we're have to use the miter saw. Cut this at 3 degrees. Got the miter saw set to it there. Basically, we have a 3 degrees between our 4x4 and the 2x6 or 2x8 header, or 2x6 they're mounting to. So because of that, in order for that to go and sit flush against the house, you got to go and do a 3-degree angle. It's also going to be what our slope is. So we're up here getting the plywood put in. Easy enough if you go in and do the edges lined up. However, to get the nails into the center of it, on the center joist, if you're 4x8 plywood, it's real easy to make sure you hit the joist all the time. Do this one little trick. Take a speed square here. You want to line it up with the center of the plywood. Do about a 1/2 inch, 1 inch. You see I already marked those. You just take your pencil, mark it, other side, mark it. And then from here, you take a 4-foot, however long straight edge you have, line that straight up, do your markings all the way down. Makes it real easy at the center of that 2x4 or 2x6 that we're using here all the time, and you don't have them going to the side or missing, sticking through the plywood by itself. Make sure you have a real nice strong contact. Everything we also ended up with, we had a piece. We have the plywood, or the 2x6s and the plywood, which are cut from the magical twisty trees from Lowe's and Home Depot, which are not straight notoriously. So one thing we had to do here is we went and had to go and add in a 2x4 brace, because the plywood was not exactly straight. You see there's a little bit of a gap there. It was fine sitting on this side and on this side, but because of how the 2x6 bent and then how the plywood wasn't exactly straight, it had a overlap here where it was just a gap. The rest of it was fine, so we added in a 2x4 onto it, gave us that structural support, and had some nails for it to nail into. You may have to go and do something like that if you do have the typical type of lumber you get from the hardware store. Alright, we're back. We have all the plywood up finally. Took a bit longer than we thought, but got all that done. Now we're time doing the underlayment, as you can see. First thing up, the very first run. I'm going to zoom in there. So we have every single one done, the big and the small knots. We're using the Owens Corn Pro Armor synthetic. It's better for waterproofing, better than use just regular felt. Live down in Texas, so we got a lot of hurricanes, high winds, rain coming in sideways type deal down here in the Gulf. So with that, we want a little bit extra protection, just doing regular felt. Also, you can see how we're going to have the little cap nails going in on all the small dots. So you're supposed to do all the big ones and then the small ones in the middle. I'm just doing all the small ones. That's what I started with before I followed up on the proper procedures for it. Seems about the similar spacing. Right now, see, we're getting some of those winds coming in. There's 3 rows on. I'm doing a 1 overlap. Have a nice little marking there in the center. And that's where we're supposed to go and line up to. Doing another overlap. Been doing that. We're on 1, 2, 3. This is your 4th. So then we're going to get this down and then start getting it nailed in. I'm going to try to go line the holes up best I can on here so we're not double hitting the nails. We've done a fairly good job of that so far at the spacing. After you go and get this on, then it's time to start shingling. It does say you can use a staple gun for these. However, if you are going to leave it not the same day before you get all the shingles on, which I don't think we're going to at this point, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But if we're not going to get all the shingles on, you're supposed to use the cap nails. Otherwise, if you don't have a big slope like we don't, you can go ahead and use the staples. But we're using cap nails because we're going to start on the shingles hopefully today. If not, it's not a big deal. We can leave this up here for about 30 days before we have to go and get it fully shingled. But I'm just taking a little break right now. Figured I'm going to fill you guys in and we get back at it. And next time we check in with you, we'll have this all on and have it all shingled. Alright, I will see you in the next update. Alright, as you can tell, we're doing the roofing now. So I got the underlayment all the way in. Got my starter strip going all the way around the sides, and then also did it around the front. Lifted up to here under the first set. You can see that I went and did a cutout here on the one going down, and that way you have full adhesive tar strip going around. On that, so you have good contact on your first set of shingles. And I go and have the first set going in. I started all the way at the edge. Next one, I went half a shingles length over. And so you have the full one. Second set. Next one did another half a shingle length over. Make sure to line these up so it looks nice and pretty. And then do another one, another half length over. Just going to repeat all the way to the end. And over towards the very end, just went and trimmed it out to size. Right now I'm on the 4th layer up. Just want to do like a little stair step up here. Do half a shingle lengths up. Kind of do that all the way up. And then after we get all this done, we're going to go back on how to go and get these covered with your final steps. Alright, so at this point we made it all the way up to the top of the house. Got it tucked in underneath. Now at this point we're going to go and start taking, going from this side where we left off and go all the way over to start doing like you were doing the other way, but now we're going to the other side. And then when you get over to this side, just start going and doing your little cuts, such as like right here. Go and cut the end pieces to match whatever length the deck you're working on is. And just proceed like that. Get everything tucked up underneath as well as you can. After we get done with getting this all done, we're just about finished. We're going to go and get started on some flashing. After that, we'll be done with the roof. Alright, so one thing I'm showing you here, which I did and I strongly advise you do too, is get these cross members set in. I decided to go and do 3, one on one side towards the house, one right in the middle of a 8-foot plus sheet of plywood. It's a 4x8, and one right at the tail of it. I was getting a lot of sagging. Per calculators, it was saying if I use this thickness of plywood, use 24-inch spacing, and use some 2x6s, I shouldn't need those. It should be fine. However, living in humid weather of Texas, those seem to go out the window and needs a little more support because it was sagging, especially as up there doing the roof. You see, I do have a additional little cross member right here. That was because to basically correct for the not being completely in square, so the plywood would have something to go and bite into. And also we're dealing with the Home Depot, Lowe's twisted tree of lumber they pull from. So some of these will bow out one way or another. Some of these bowed out just enough where the plywood wouldn't sit in the middle, but it would on the sides. So had to go and get that there in the middle. Did another one over here. Same story. To get through those, just use the same ones we use for the header, the 4.5-inch headlock. Use the lag bolt replacement screws. Those are great for that. Rest of them, I just use the 3-inch nails we use the rest of the time, the D10s or the 16Ds. Now, so we got about 60 feet of reinforcement going back and forth here, 20 on each one. So now I'm about to get done with the getting the flashing in. I was getting the flashing in originally. I was noticing there was a lot of waviness in it by the house. It was not going to sit right. It wasn't going to seal right. So now we can get up there again and make sure that sets in nice and even. Just get some silicone on it. If not, we do have some of the flashing tape you can use. Use the tape aluminum, not just regular flashing tape. Reason for that is that the tape aluminum is UV rated for up to over 10 years. The other one is regular flash tape is only for 30 days. So make sure to read that package before you get that if you are going to use the aluminum flashing tape, if you do need to go that route. But yeah, here's what we had to go and do underneath. We're all done under here. We already have the roofing done up top. Just got to get the flashing finished out, and we're done with this.